Hello, everyone. It is always very nice to get to tell you about a pleasant surprise, and that is what Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore wound up being for me. I do always go into a new movie with an open mind, but when it comes to continuing franchises, you kind of just can't help but to have your expectations somewhat influenced by the installment that came before. And in the case of Fantastic Beasts, I really did not like The Crimes of Grindelwald. I thought there were certain story choices that just plain old didn't work, some subpar VFX, but the thing that I got hung up on the most with that movie is that it made me feel like I wasn't enough of a franchise fan. I felt so far removed from everything, and I think it had a lot to do with this overabundance of world-building details and key characters that felt like they were just thrown up on the screen and weren't very engaging. And that wound up reducing the heart and the stakes of the movie considerably. That, though, is not the case with The Secrets of Dumbledore, and it thrills me to no end. Movie 3 in the series focuses on Gellert Grindelwald's attempt to seize control of the wizarding world. Dumbledore cannot defeat him alone, so he assembles a team of wizards, witches, and of course Jacob and Nomad to stop him before he's able to spark a potentially devastating war with the human world. The movie definitely is not flawless. There were a couple of beats where I did catch myself wondering things like, why would someone do that? How did this character get there? How did they know that information? Those could be responses to overcomplicated story beats or even plot holes, or admittedly, these could be moments that gain clarity on repeat viewings because, like the previous film, there is a lot going on here. But the reason why a good deal of this movie's Wizarding World details and also Dumbledore's very complicated plan play well is because the narrative necessitates it, and also a lot of it is rooted firmly in character, and it is much, much better character work than what we saw in that previous film. There are a couple of inevitable character arc hiccups, though, due to the fact that I lost touch with certain characters in film 2. Had that movie been stronger, of course I think certain character storylines here would have played stronger, but Secrets of Dumbledore does wind up getting away with it for the most part because it actually does manage to function really well as its own standalone story, and it also adds back a lot of the heart that I loved in the first film that I think the second film lost. For example here, I was not happy with Queenie's situation in film 2. It didn't work, it wasn't justified, and it was a really big disappointment for me because she was one of my favorite characters going into it. I am not going to say her arc is super strong in film 3 either. It did still feel like I needed more access to what was going on inside her head in order to add some much needed weight to the decisions that she makes, but I still think they make some great strides rebuilding that character, which I was very happy about. And really, that's probably got a lot to do with how much I love Jacob and how good Dan Fogler is in that role. There just isn't a false note in that performance, and that character has such a big heart that if he cares deeply about someone or something, I probably will too. He kind of stole the movie for me, actually, as far as characters from the previous films go. With the newcomers, I'll say Jessica Williams as Lally was the biggest winner of the bunch for me, and yeah, I know she was introduced in film 2, but that was the briefest of cameos, and here it is a much meatier role. She just has such natural screen presence here, even right smack in the middle of a bunch of powerhouse veteran performers and also some significant VFX. I can't say that Lally experiences much of an arc in the film, but there's something about the confidence she exudes the moment she appears on screen and then holds on to throughout this entire mission that's just, it's invigorating and it's just such a thrill to watch. Now, Mads Mikkelsen. What an excellent choice to play Grindelwald in this movie. What I appreciated most about his version of this character is that he's not just a villain executing a nefarious plan, but rather a fully realized person driven by something that's clearly important to him. I may not agree with his motivations, but his goals and purpose are conveyed quite effectively in this story, and when a big bad has layers and isn't so two-dimensional, it bolsters the strength of the movie as a whole quite significantly. Now, There is still a little part of me that's bummed that Eddie Redmayne's Newt Scamander doesn't feel like the centerpiece of this series anymore, but Secrets of Dumbledore is a pretty well-constructed ensemble piece where all of the main players have real purpose, and I'll say that Newt is still one of the more captivating of the bunch for me. I just really enjoy him in that role. All right, let's score this thing. I'm going to give Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore 3.5 Deweys out of 5 on the Dewey Decimovie scale. Again, major step up from the previous film, but we still run into the familiar issue of there being many key storylines in play, and when you have that, sometimes some pale in comparison to others. And I am kind of shocked that they all come together as well as they do in the end, but that still means that there are noticeable lulls throughout the first 3/4 of the movie. Ezra Miller's Credence was often one of them, as was some of the material between Jude Law's Dumbledore and his brother Aberforth, played by Richard Coyle. I also found myself a little bit distracted by, I guess I would call them, Grindelwald's inner circle. There's a bunch of characters there who are framed or focused on in a way that made me feel like I was going to get to know more about them, and that never happens. But again, big improvement here. The pace was great. I enjoyed the ride, and the Niffler Teddy continues to have my heart. All right, I'm gonna leave you there with this one. Big thanks to everybody out there for watching this review. Before I let you go, supersize Patreon shout out time, because I got some catching up to do. Big thanks are going out to Andrew, Tommy, MK Songbird, John Gregory, Wessel, Carol, Michael, James, Kavi, Neo, Matthew, and Arturo. So many wonderful individuals right there. You all know how I feel about you. You're awesome. I love talking to you on Slack, and I so deeply appreciate your support keeping all this stuff up and running. It means the world to me. Also, big thanks to everybody out there watching this review right now. Do not forget to like and share before you leave, and stay tuned. Another review coming your way very, very soon.